Hey, Science Seekers, is Mr. Pfeiffer coming back with another episode of the Science Seeker Show. And we are going to be doing a special highlighted episode of a podcast series entitled It's Everything Better with Science. This podcast series basically follows the journey of a bunch of our magnet students over at Meade Junior High and some scientific investigations they did. Instead of me talking more about it, I'd rather Mrs. Prusnick, one of our board members at District 54, shares with you and does the introduction instead. So let's listen to what she has to say.
Hello, I'm Mary Kay Prusnick, a member of the District 54 Board of Education, and I'm so glad to welcome you to Season 2 of the Everything's Better with Science podcast series. What you're about to hear are 14 episodes of scientific studies conducted in the fall of 2019. Mr. Pfeiffer's students were asked to find something they love, learn more about that topic, and then, in conjunction with the UN Sustainable Development Goals, find ways to make something better with science. Have a listen. Everything's better with science, and these studies help prove that. Be sure to listen to our featured episodes 4, 7, 8, and 12.
So without further ado, here comes It's Everything Better with Science, featured episode number 4. One misconception actually in the audio is that they are calling Salmonella a virus, but it's actually a bacteria, and it's important to note. And in Bobby's website, you'll see that as well. So I present to you our first highlighted episode.
Hello, I'm Mary
Of Everything's Better with Science. Here you go. And again, it's an audio clip. This is an entire podcast series of audio clips that you can find on the website in the description below.
Welcome to Everything is Better with Science, Season 2, Episode 4, Salmonella Safety. I'm Nora and I'm with my co-host Ariane.
Hi.
Today we will be talking about how viruses can be effectively cooked off of food by referencing the most effective way to ensure food is safe from salmonella.
We are going to be inviting Bhavya, who has done a project on salmonella and found the most effective way to cook food to ensure that it does not have dangerous amounts of the virus present on it.
Let's welcome a 7th grade student from Meade Junior High.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on the show today.
So today you're going to help us learn some cool cooking facts, right?
Not exactly. I'm going to be telling you about the salmonella virus and how it effectively ensures that your food is safe from the virus.
Well, let's get started with our interview. So Bhavya, what made you decide to choose this topic as your project?
I really enjoy cooking and wanted to help people, so I combined the idea between the two, and I also read an article on the salmonella outbreak, so I was really interested in it. That's why I used cooking and salmonella to create my experiment.
In doing this project, what did you hope to accomplish?
So I considered third world countries and how they're also facing the same problem. We have technology to help us, but they don't, so I try to find a simple way like the method of cooking to clean food.
What did you research in order to start doing experiments?
Well, first I researched the foodborne illnesses and what microbes are. Then I researched the different cooking methods to gain more background information.
That sounds really nice. Connected to that, did anything you learned in your research surprise you?
Well, one specific part of my research was about the amount of bacteria in our food and was surprised to see a lot throughout the different diets.
So what were your materials and testing methods?
I went with 5 different cooking methods: boiling, steaming, baking, grilling, and frying. And after applying the bacteria to the tofu, which is the food I used, I was able to see the change in the amount of it after 7 minutes of cooking. The materials I used were the cooking utensils for the different method, bacteria, which was the salmonella, and then I used the petri dishes with the agar.
Adding on to that question, what was your hypothesis when you started out?
I thought that boiling would work the best and frying would work the least effective. This is because I found from my research that boiling is commonly used to clean food, and I didn't think that baking, which is cooking with dry heat, would work.
What was the procedure you used in order to use those materials and methods?
I had to prepare the petri dishes by melting agar onto them.
What is agar?
Agar is like the medium I use to showcase the bacteria on the petri dish itself. So after preparing my dishes, I cooked the food and then used a swab to pick up the bacteria off of the tofu. Then swabbing it onto the petri dish, I had to wait a few days for the bacteria to appear on the dish.
Did you have to rethink your procedure at all?
Not really, but I thought about what I could do next time. I thought about using a different food product and more tests to get a more accurate result. I also thought about using a different bacteria type as there are many outbreaks.
Let's move on to your results so we can learn about how this project finished up. So, was your hypothesis accurate?
Well, I was partially correct as boiling wasn't the best, but baking was the least effective. Instead, like I said before, steaming worked the best.
Did any of your results surprise you at all?
Not that much, but I'm surprised that grilling didn't do that bad. I thought it wouldn't work that well, but turns out it did.
Wow, now that I'm going to be steaming everything I eat, how do you think this will benefit other people?
Well, this will help other people so that they can keep themselves safe without using chemical products. It will also obviously get rid of the bacteria in the food, and people will be safe from dangerous diseases.
That sounds really good. If you had the materials to put this project out in the world, what would you do?
If I had the money and time, I would travel to third world countries who inspired my project and help them out. I'd want to make sure that though they don't have the advanced technology that we do, they can still live a healthy life.
That's really kind of you.
That you would want to add on?
Well, in this project, I used tofu instead of other foods. I did this because I heard about meat going extinct and wanted to research about that. I found out that meat although it's an important source of protein for human diets, it causes a lot of global environmental change. It makes up a lot of greenhouse gas emissions, and it isn't very good for the planet. So I thought about using plants instead, and from research I found out that plants work very well, like tofu and algae. And after comparing to all the tests, I found out that tofu works the best, which is why I use tofu.
Well, I guess it's time to sum up this podcast. Thank you for listening to this episode of Everything is Better with Science Season 2. We hope you enjoyed and will check out some of our other episodes, which can be found on our website. If you would like to learn more on today's topic, check out bit.ly.com/salmonella safety. Have a wonderful day.
And that concludes today's episode of the Science Seeker Show. Be on the lookout and check the description for more of these awesome podcasts and these awesome websites. Take care, guys. Peace.